listening to Oilersnation Radio, a member of the Nation network of podcasts and delivered by DoorDash. 1 hour of straight hockey talk with Dan, Rick, Tyler, and Bag Milk starts now.
Welcome to Oilersnation Radio, episode 170. That's 170, kids. I'm teaching you something.
It's a lot.
We're starting. We're moving.
Divide that in two, and it is 85.
It's true. I don't get that.
Nailed it.
Good for you, Tyler. Tyler, Bag Milk, Rick, and Waz sitting in today. Dan is in Halifax. If you don't know, Dan's from Halifax.
Yes, Dan is from Halifax. He was a bouncer in Halifax, and he has seen a Mooseheads game before.
He also does not like Brad Marchand, who scored last night.
Yep.
We'll talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get there. First, we're starting off with the Oodle Noodle delicious debate, as we do every week. Mr. Uremchuk, what do you got for us?
What is the biggest concern with the Oilers right now?
Depth scoring. I'm in first. You all suck. I win.
Gotta respect it.
So last night, 2 goals in the power play. Leon Draisaitl, we're talking against the loss against Boston.
Yep.
Third line, all kinds of chances. Warren Fogle had 6 shots on net. McLeod was buzzing a little bit. Cannot get anything to go in.
There's only 2 guys on that line. Perhaps they need a third player.
We'll talk about Zach Kassian disappearing in a sec. I don't understand that dude. And I don't remember. I wish I could remember who brought up Mac T's quote about Dustin Penner when he signed that contract extension, or I guess that would have been an offer sheet back in the day. But it reminds me of that, but we'll get to it. My biggest problem with the Oilers right now is the lack of depth scoring. And that goes even to top 6 guys too. Nuge, I'll just start off by saying it. You need to score, pal. 2 goals on the year, plenty of assists. But buddy, you need to fire him. I know you're winning me the shot props. Did again last night. I appreciate it. Thank you for padding my bankroll. But we need to get some of those going in the net. Kailer Yamamoto did not even have a shot on net last night.
4 straight games now.
He didn't play
Really?
very much though yesterday.
4 straight games, Tyler?
He had like 7 minutes through the first 2 periods. There was a ton of guys who didn't yet seen in the second period. It was weird.
Tyler Yamamoto has not had a shot since December 1st against Pittsburgh.
That's
what
bad.
Day is today? To the 10th?
Today's the 10th. That's what, 3 games, 4 games?
Seattle, LA, Minnesota, Boston. This guy, I mean, he had 17 shifts last game. That's enough to make an impact. And also
last night.
Yeah.
12:09 is what he played last night.
He's playing with either Nuge or Draisaitl.
Agreed.
Like, man, he's not a top 6 winger anymore, right? Like we're past the point of that. We have to be, because you cannot play 4 games in a row with either Nugent Hopkins or Draisaitl and not have a shot. 1 shot.
So that's the second line that there's an issue.
It's
the third line continues. 4th line, non-event.
Yeah, but even they didn't barely play last night.
Yeah, they kill penalties. They do that fine.
Like,
I'm just talking about, like, you need a guy on some of those lines to pop a goal in.
I get it with your depth scoring, but I think their biggest issue right now is 5-on-5 play, period. They can't score. They have troubles keeping out of their net. And it's all 4 lines.
If they get 1 depth goal, they at least get a point from Seattle. They probably get a point from LA, because if it's tied, McDavid maybe doesn't board them, right? That goes a different way. So you at least get a point against Seattle. You probably get a point against LA, and you probably get a point against Boston. Mm-hmm. If you get 1 depth goal in those games, we're not even talking about a 4-game losing streak here.
Yeah.
1 depth goal. That's all you need.
Or it could be like
period, though.
The Calgary loser point. Even that would be nice.
It could be anybody scoring that goal, though.
Anybody.
Like, it could be top 6. It could be anybody on there.
But 12, the point is
18, there's 18 guys out there that can score.
Yeah.
One of them needs to find a way to
I'm
score.
with you on that. But like, if you're looking at Connor and Leon, they're getting their points.
Yep.
They need help. And this is like an evergreen post that we've talked about on this podcast a million times at this point. But like, it falls off a cliff after those 2 dudes.
Well,
and
I was going to...
Hyman's good. Hyman's producing the way we would. Jesse is too, looking at it. But again, I'm looking at Nuge. He is 3rd in team scoring because he's piling up assists. Only 2 goals. That's a guy that needs to score. Tyson Barrie, he's not scoring. Darnell Nurse isn't scoring. Zach Kassian, non-event. Warren Fogle, not scoring. Yamo, same, and on and on and on.
Nobody is.
Waz?
I was going to say that feels like the depth was actually like, relevant at the beginning of the season. We actually saw it scoring a little bit. Warren Fogle, for example, Zach Kassian. Now it kind of just disappeared. Like on paper, it feels like we have depth, but right now it's just not performing. That's how I feel.
I think those guys are more prone to have streakiness, and they're all like slumping at the same time, which is really
The snake bite is alive and real.
Dude, like Fogle was everywhere last night.
He had 6 shots on net last night.
He was driving the net. He was banging the crease. He was flying out there.
But it's like
just couldn't buy one.
He's never going to score again. It looks like, you know what I mean? It's just like
we've said
he's
it about
working.
37 players over the last 6 years.
I know. It's just such a bummer because the skill's there, the hustle's there, the work's there. He needs some confidence. There's a look at this lineup. There's a lot of confidence.
I like that pairing though with Fogle and McLeod.
What about on the other side?
I think they're looking really good. Yeah. Honestly, if you take the roster the way it is right now, I take 44 out. And I know you're probably playing him a little bit higher, but I'm putting Benson there.
He doesn't do anything either.
Okay, I get it, but he's done everything he's wanted to do in terms of blue collarness, right? Earn your spot, whatever. But I think he has more offense out of anybody not playing in that top 6 and not playing on that line.
Yeah, I agree that if you're going to make a change there and you're going to put Cassian on the 4th line, it makes more sense to put Benson up there than Shore because
that's all I was going. And that's where I was going.
And that's fair because Cassian doesn't deserve that spot right now.
He doesn't.
Definitely not.
It's like almost like I would rather have, and this isn't a good option. I'm just saying I would rather almost have Colton Sevier in his spot because at least he's fucking moving his feet.
Yeah.
See,
and that's not a good option.
And those guys, I don't want to take them out of their weight class. So that's kind of where I just throw Benson and say, listen, you've done everything we've wanted to do so far. You have the offense. Let's see what you can do here. And that may actually be his final straw or whatever.
Well, funny enough, Zach Cassian's last goal was October 22nd. So
that would have been against Anaheim.
I think it was Anaheim or Vegas.
Yeah. That's when he had 3 points, right?
Yeah.
October.
But he's been he's disappeared from there. So it's like you're talking about Cassian. It reminds me, like I said off the jump, of when Dustin Penner signed the offer sheet and Mac T said we thought it was a starting point, but he looked at it as a finish line. I don't know that that's the case with Cassian, but he is not playing like a $3 million.
Just for the record, for Penner, he was still really good. He still got us 25, 27, 28 goals.
I'm just talking about the quote.
I get it. That's fine.
I'm talking about the quote.
Yeah. The problem with Cassian for me, like if he had gone goalless from, like that's why, I'm probably being a little bit hard on Fogle, should be more forgiving because he's getting chances and he's moving his feet.
It just feels like something's coming.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it's not.
But with Cassian, like he's not doing the effort shit. There was twice last game where I found myself being like, hustle out of the zone. Like the Oilers were waiting to go back in and he's like half-assing it to the blue line. And it's like, get out of the fucking zone, man. There's twice he's in on the forecheck and he can hit. Now he tries to poke it, puck loose. Man, you get paid $3 million to be in the bottom 6. You need to create energy. You need to create scoring chances. He created 1 scoring chance last game, I think. And I don't remember a hit he laid.
I guess it turned out to be the game winner. Cassian's lack of a back check on that play drove me crazy. It was unbelievable that he was coasting in and the dude that eventually passed up to the defenseman, whatever that guy's name isn't real, by the way. Grizzlick.
It's Polish, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah, it's Polish last name.
It's not real.
Was his cousin.
He was so frustrating. It's like his quote unquote give a shit meter was just broken. Yeah. It's not there. Maybe we need to go. I've said this joke before, but maybe we need to book a cameo and tell him that he needs to get going. Hey, Cass, Oilersnation Radio here, man. Been pretty shitty lately, my guy. We need you to just crank up the effort a little. It's just like, dude, when you're on your game, you make a difference. Yeah. You're not going to be probably worth 3.2.
And you don't have to do the offensive things. Like just go with their bang bodies and just show that energy. That's all.
That's what it is. Right? It's effort. It was the same thing I'd always get on Jujar Kara for when he was here, right? They'd be like, man, when that guy moved his feet, he'd lay a couple big hits, the ice would open up and he'd get scoring chances. And we'd always get those 5-game Kara heaters that were like, holy shit, he has like 4 goals in 5 games. It's nuts. And the same thing with Cassian. If he skates hard, he lays a couple of hits, he pisses off a couple guys on the other team, he comes alive and the scoring chances come with it. Yeah. And he's going hard to the net. Exactly. But all it is off the bat is just skate, man. Just skate and hit. Because that was also another thing that annoys me is that last year, and in the playoffs, people were like, oh, well, there was no crowd. So Cassian didn't have the crowd to get him fired up. Well, now there's a crowd. Now what's the excuse? I don't know. What was the delicious debate question? Like, what's the biggest problem? What's the biggest concern with the Oilers? So I said depth scoring. That led us into 5-10 minutes here. What else you guys got on the list?
5-on-5 play.
Starting games on time.
Yes, bad starts, brutal.
But the last 2 starts have actually been good.
No,
I don't mind last night's.
The weird part about last night is against the Bruins, of course. Yeah. They played well enough to win. Yep. Start was not bad, but they found a new and creative way to give up the first goal last night.
The shorty.
Tyson Berry hit the old reset button on his computer and he just kind of, and then turned
Controller disconnected on that one.
So yeah, he just tried to backhand and just didn't get all of it. And I think at that point you do have to turn around and hustle back. I know you can just face them and try and play goalie at that point and just try to block the pass, but you got to give the other team credit on that one. It was a great play on their part, and you got to get the puck deep, man. That's all it is. Get it off the blue line. It was
just a bad play. So,
but that's been a part of that's the power play right now. They're coughing it up everywhere. Everybody on that line is coughing it up right now.
And that was the frustrating part about, like, everybody said it right. The Oilers played well enough to win yesterday. Start was fine. They were firing shots, shoot first mentality for the first time in a bit. I love all that. They could not execute. They could not get a goal. And then the mistakes they made ended up in the back of the net.
Even against Minnesota, like off the bat, they came out ready to play, I thought.
The penalty, right?
And then they take a penalty and then Mikko doesn't hug his post and somehow gets beat on that. And you're down 1-0. And it's just like, man, if you would have started the games against LA and Seattle the way you started against Minnesota, Boston, you're probably 2-2.
We wouldn't be talking about a 4-game losing streak.
Just keep playing everybody the way you played Boston at a bare minimum. At a bare minimum. That's got to be your bad game.
But now the issue is, like, even if you play as good as you did against Boston, there's no guarantees against Carolina and Toronto. Those two are the best teams.
I was saying this to Waz before we started recording, is that it's one thing to struggle and kind of have to weave your way through the schedule and work it out. It's another when you're struggling and you come up against a murderer's row of games.
You know what though? Good. This is adversity. This team needs
100%.
it. Let's go. You know, you got away with W's when you weren't playing properly. You've taken a couple L's when you've been playing better. No one's going to make it easier for you. You got to get through that wall yourself. So here you go. Like, it's everybody knows exactly what's going on. Nothing's happening right now in terms of bringing somebody else in. Look around in the dressing room. Everyone look at each other. Go out there and win the fucking game.
I agree. I don't know.
No, 100%.
If you want to beat the best or be the best, you have to beat the best, right, Tyler?
Yeah, absolutely. And my biggest concern, I'm just going to echo what you guys said. I think you nailed it. Depth scoring at 5-on-5 is the problem. They got 2 goals from the power play last game.
Mm-hmm.
All they needed was 1 from the bottom 6 or 1 at 5-on-5. And they're bringing that game to OT.
Middle 6, bottom 6, who cares?
Whoever.
If they got another one, they're probably up 3-2. They're probably up 3-2 before that Gretzky goes in.
Yep.
We just need someone not named McDavid or Draisaitl scoring, essentially, right now.
Which could be said
and dude,
in 2021.
Hyman's fucking feeling it right now too. He had a couple little tips that couldn't go in. Yes, has got to get that shot a little bit better.
Jesse did too.
Got some chances last night.
That backhand tip from CC on the blue line? Come on, that was sick. That was a hell of a play.
2 posts in the first, 5-10 minutes?
The chance for Hyman.
When he chokes up?
Oh, man.
But I'm also, I watch that and I'm just like, how are you standing? Like, have you never been a net front presence before? He was like, his spine was aligned with the post. And then, like, he didn't put himself in a position to score.
No.
Like, what were you doing, man? All you had to do was be a little, like, pinball thing where you just ding, tip it in. It's like, what?
Yeah, he found himself in a weird spot at that point.
He really did, because he had to choke up on it and try to go like a backwards kind of thing, where if that's a lefty, that's in the net.
Yeah.
And yet that other one was so easy, and it's between his legs and it's behind his back, and it's like a little tip and just missed the post.
Yep.
Depth scoring. We need it.
But they're close. They're close. That's why I know that a lot of people are freaking out about last night's the four game losing streak. I hate that. The game in a vacuum by itself. And you're gonna lose. Sometimes the other team gets played to play too, right?
I'm gonna bring it up. The amount of times I saw #fire Tippett though is like,
we'll get there,
it's a headache.
Don't worry, we're gonna get there. I just think that sometimes that's the way she goes.
Yeah.
And last night was one of those games.
It sucks that it's at the 4 in a row.
Yes.
But the game in a vacuum was fine.
The funny thing is, look at last night's game. A lot of Oilers fans were just rattled. I was way more upset about the games against Seattle and Los Angeles than last night or against Minnesota. Way more. And I just find it kind of funny. So there's your delicious debate. What's the problem? There's a list. Some of it can be corrected. Some of it we need a little luck. That's it. That's all. That's sports, baby. That's sports. You got another issue that we missed? Something that you're thinking? If you're going to say tip it, we're going to get there. Don't worry about it. Hit us up. ON Radio Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. I want to know.
I think, Tyler, you made a good point a couple podcasts ago or on the pregame show. You were saying that it was good that the Oilers went on that early streak. That way they can bank points for situations like this. It's like...
Yeah. We all knew this was going to happen. These types of things happen to every team.
Well, I mean, a 4-game losing streak.
That might be stretching it.
Yeah.
But losing streaks happen.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You know, it's how long does this go? If they can stop it tomorrow against Carolina, then all of a sudden the bandwagon, you watch it fill back right up again.
Yeah.
We'll see.
But what happens if it doesn't stop? When do you start thinking, okay, we need to make major change? 5, 6, 7?
Okay, let's talk about it. Since we're going to skip
You did
this,
this before, too.
I'm going to move this up in my list here. Waz brought it up.
Paste. And there you go.
There we go. Let's talk about it. Waz brought up the hashtag Fire Tippett. Tyler asked the question. Rick and I are the old boys here, so I'm just going to sit and listen while you guys talk about it. I've seen the Oilers fire so many coaches, and if you don't adjust the roster, it's
The coaches
not
aren't
going to
the
matter.
coaches don't have skates. The coaches aren't the ones not banging bodies like Cassian. The coaches aren't the ones out there doing it's not on the coaches. Talk to the guys with skates on their feet.
It's not on the coaches.
Yes, I
but-
understand they're a big part of it, but
Sure.
Yeah. And listen, I'm not a Dave Tippett hater at all. I think we sat through a lot of years of having dog shit special teams, and the Oilers have been probably the best special teams group in the league for the last 2 or 3
who
seasons.
leads the special teams in terms of coaches?
I don't know. In terms
Is that Glenn Gulletson?
Yeah, I saw Gulletson skating with Connor yesterday. That they
Yeah,
said
I
they were
think
talking about
Gulletson handles the
something,
power play.
which is weird though, because he's like the defensive guy.
He looks like an extra
No,
on
play
Dick
for the
Tracy, and I
defensive
like it.
Oh, my bad.
So like I like Dave Tippett. I think he has some flaws, but I also think every coach has flaws. You're never going to find a coach whose fan base is 100% in love with him. That shit just doesn't happen. Jets fans want to fire
Except
Maurice.
Vancouver with Bruce Boudreau right now.
Maybe
Yeah.
John Cooper.
Fuck no, man. Lightning fans
interesting.
a couple years ago, before they won the rings, Lightning fans hated Cooper.
Oh,
They
especially
wanted
when they
him.
got swept in
When they
the
got
first
swept
round.
by the Blue
Yeah.
Jackets.
Yep, they were like, he can't coach. He's in over his head. He just has a talented roster. Same shit we see here with Dave Tippett, right? And I just think if the losing streak were to hypothetically get to 7 games, like if they don't beat Carolina and
Let's go in
Toronto,
6 at home.
Yeah.
Ouch. That's tough.
you need to make a change at that point. And even if
Something-
it's
I don't know
not,
what it is.
But so let's walk that through. Let's say your worst case scenario comes
Yeah.
through. They get
0-6.
swept on the homestand.
Yep.
The first change that always comes is a trade, not a firing of a coach.
Honestly, I don't know what you can do at this point. I think it's
I
one
don't
of
know
two
it either.
things. It's one of two things. It's either a coach or a trade.
I just don't see the coach as an option.
But I don't see the trade as being I don't see how you can improve this team with a trade right now.
I think you could. Like
Unless you're going like that deadline move and you're moving it up right now.
Yeah, like if
you
you're
start
giving up
moving picks and stuff.
giving up a first or you're giving up a high end prospect and you're trying to improve the team right now, you can. But it takes 2 to tango. What team is sitting around right now and going, yeah, we'll give you an impact player? I don't think they're out there right now. And if they are, you're paying a premium because you're 2 months ahead of the trade deadline.
But there's got to be other teams that are in the same situation as us right now. Like, I mean, Boston started off slow, right? They're starting to get to it right
So
now.
the Leafs as well. They started off slow, and look at them now.
Like you look at a team though, like Montreal, Buffalo, Ottawa, they're already done essentially.
Buffalo.
But I think
Ottawa's
all
not trading.
I think all their good pieces they're holding on to until the deadline to see
Buffalo,
what
I
they
don't
can get
think
for them.
has
So
any.
you're gonna have to pay a lot. I just think if you go into it and say we're gonna make a trade to spice this up, that's how you end up doing Spooner for Strome, and you end up doing
I just think that
Petula
like
for Manning.
I don't disagree with you. I just think the order of events always seems to be that way. Generally speaking, unless you got a season like Vancouver where the everything was on fire from the get-go. I don't see Dave Tippett being fired, especially with this GM in. This isn't Ken Holland moves at a glacial pace sometimes. I just don't see him firing his coach.
This is like the first quote unquote set of issues they've had that, like, at least this year, right? So yeah, I do see the trade being the first move, but I do say Tippett is not exactly on thick ice.
I think he deserves.
It comes down to the playoffs.
He
Though.
deserves a little bit of criticism for sure.
Yep.
But do we need to fire him, or does he need to retool his system a bit?
But like Tippett's not sitting in the
Yeah,
dressing room
it's-
going, "Hey guys, at the drop of the puck, take it easy. Don't worry about
forget
spending too much."
about it.
Yeah,
Hey,
exactly.
forget about it.
So like the coaches aren't the ones
Yeah.
out there telling them not to do the things they're doing or whatever I'm trying to say. It's the player, dude. It's the guys at the skates.
Yeah, but if it might spark the team and they've lost 7 in a row, and at that point you're sitting there going, shit, they're fighting for a playoff spot now. Then I think you do need to look at doing that just for the sake of waking up the team a little bit. We've seen it work in the past.
And you're fully on board with just bringing up Woodcroft.
I'd bring up Woodcroft. Yeah,
But do you think that's likely?
no, it's probably Babcock.
That's what I said.
Like, yeah, you were saying that before we started recording.
I said, listen, if it's Ken Holland and he's firing a coach, chances are he's probably not going to give it this roster that has expectations to a first-time head coach. Even though that probably should happen.
I'm going to ask the dumb question. What was the majority of his issues again? He was just a dick, right? Like he didn't cross any lines in terms of the Chicago situation. Like he was just an asshole, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Everyone just got sick of his bullshit. I don't want him here. No, there's no chance. If they fire Tippett and bring him back, I'll be fuming.
But like, don't you see that as one of the most likely scenarios if that actually happens? Because that's what I do. I look at it as that scenario potentially happening because the NHL likes to recycle the same fucking 10 people over and over again.
I think the Woodcroft would be the first move, but I could see. I'm not saying the Babcock would not be an option.
I'd love to see him hire Rick Tocchet.
I'd like to see him bring up Jay Woodcroft.
Yeah.
John Tortorella.
No.
See, that's another name that you like, it's out there.
Can you imagine if Torts, like a month and a half after saying Connor McDavid is to change his game, gets hired to be the coach of the Oilers?
I would love for him to be the voice.
That'd be a tire fire.
Because I guarantee you in fucking in pressers, he'd be losing his mind for some of this stuff.
Especially the officials.
Some Torts v. Gregor sound clips if they're on a losing streak.
Oh my.
Sign me up for that.
Oh, that'd be the best.
I don't think a coaching change is the answer right now. No. I just think it has to be on your radar if you're Ken Holland. And if this team keeps slipping, if they only win one of their next 5, or if the losing streak gets to 7, then like you need to do something eventually.
I think you just make that quote unquote deadline trade a little bit earlier. You bring in the Yaros Spotcheck came in here in like December back in 2006, I believe.
Yeah, something like that.
Samsonov, I think, was closer to the deadline.
Tarnstrom was in like January.
Yeah, Dickie Tarnstrom.
The only issue is like, what are they trading? Like they don't have cap space. They don't have a ton of assets.
Well, Zach's got to go.
Cassian's got to go then, yeah.
Then it's gonna cost you maybe a higher draft pick in order to make the
biggest trading piece they have is Yamamoto, but even then
that's nothing off the dollars.
Yeah.
So you're trading Cassian in the first for like the best thing it can get you.
Raquel?
No, because
Anaheim's too good.
Is Anaheim not fucking ahead of them right now?
Yes.
What's his situation out there though? His contracts?
Isn't he a UFA at the end of the season? I think so.
So does he might resign. Does he want to stay there? That's the question.
I think he might.
Aren't you his agent by now? Shouldn't you know?
Yeah,
this?
I feel like you should know. But Anaheim is too good right now. They're not trading pieces.
Yeah. So like the team,
you might be okay. First of all, Anaheim knows they're not winning the Stanley Cup, right?
I wouldn't tell that to Anaheim.
Anaheim,
they're trying to make the playoffs.
That's fine, and I get that. But if they feel they can't sign Raquel, then he's going to be available.
They don't have a GM. I think they might just ride out the season.
Yeah, they got some momentum right now as well.
But you still can't just let him go like that, can you?
I mean,
I think you could risk it.
Kind of can.
Like obviously they have a feeling. They have a feeling of what he's gonna sign or not, right? They've talked to him. They have a feeling.
But it's also, do you trust Ken Holland to make the right move? You know, it's.
I do. I
Really?
do. I don't. Yeah. In terms of his moves, his player moves, I don't think he's like terrible. He's not 100%.
Maybe his in-season moves,
but his off-season. I think some of his best ones are the ones he didn't make.
Yeah,
like he didn't jump on any one of these free agent goalies in the last couple of years. I know. I get it. I get it. What's his face in Carolina? I get that. Everybody gave up on him, but he didn't go out and get Grubauer. He didn't overpay on anybody, right?
I mean, he wanted Markstrom. Markstrom just didn't want to come here.
Yeah, and that's fair. But he offered. He didn't overterm or overpay. And I think at the end of the day, that's actually a positive for us.
I look at Ken Holland and some of the moves, like
some of them for sure, but I don't think an overall grade for me is still a passing grade.
Yeah, he still gets a passing grade, but it's barely for me. Just looking back on some of this stuff, like the Turris signing was not good. Derek Ryan hasn't been as good as advertised. Fogle for Bear doesn't look good at all. The Keith deal doesn't look good at all.
But going into
Barry deal doesn't look good.
The Fogle acquisition. Everybody is pumping the tires of the kid.
Yeah.
Derek Ryan, they went in, they said, hey, listen, this is a guy who should be able to fit in and will be a whatever. So, I mean, there are a lot of people wrong on those, right? So I'm not going to sit here and say, I can't hang those on him too much. The Keith one will always be skeptical. He's getting a passing grade with CC right now.
Yeah.
Although the 4 years still blows my mind, but whatever. Yeah, he's not 100%, but not to the point where I want to take the gun out of his hands.
Yeah, it's just maybe because I'm down in the dumps right now, but I'm not very confident in his ability to go make a season-saving move. And I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong, but I just don't have a lot of confidence in this group right now.
And he's not going to be making a move for Carey Price or Fleury or anything.
I don't want Carey Price. Jesus.
I don't want either one of those guys.
The amount of people that have been suggesting this on social media is like, please stop. Like, if we're getting a goaltender, maybe get Anton Khudobin.
Fuck no, I'm not touching Anton Hudobin.
But yeah, the Hudobin is like Korpisalo. He's not better than anything we have right now.
I also don't think the goaltending has been the problem.
No, I don't touch the goaltending.
Yeah, no, I agree.
There have been times, of course, where Costco lets in one that he shouldn't, or, look at Skinner's work last night. He was getting lit up in the comment section in the wrap up a little bit, but I just say the first goal, breakaway against one of the best scorers over the last decade.
Can't blame a goalie on
Best
that.
player, one of the best players in the league.
Exactly.
Second goal, Oilers failed to clear on the power play. Jake DeBrusk
Missed call behind the net.
Yeah, Yamamoto's tripped.
That was an awful non-call.
Tripped, like his left skate goes on the stick and nobody says a fucking thing about it.
Then the third goal, you're basically screened by it.
You couldn't see a goddamn thing in
The
that.
third goal, you're screened by everybody.
You can't put him on any one of those goals.
So I don't necessarily know if the goaltending is as much of a priority as I maybe thought it was. The goal scoring is a problem. And
100%.
they just need
Again.
people to get going again. And I don't know, does firing Dave Tippett boost that? I don't think so.
No.
Maybe it gets some guys playing a little bit better, but even then, fucking Raquel's not going anywhere, and I'm just so sad about that. Can we talk about? No, I'm kidding. But Jeff Merrick had a piece about some potential, trade targets around the league and all of that, and you look through there and you're like, God, there's not really a great fit for the Oilers. Maybe Jake DeBrusk would help. But
I said it on last week's podcast. I don't necessarily know that the Oilers want to take on a reclamation project for a kid in his hometown.
That's not a
It's
slam
just
dunk at all.
not a recipe for success. It just doesn't work all that often. Not here.
He would
anyway.
love to play here.
I bet he would.
100%.
I bet he would.
Would you flip him for Barry right now?
Barry?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're getting out of that contract.
Yeah.
And you don't need Barry. You can do anything else on the right side.
Yeah, you just got to go figure out what you're going to do with that last third spot now.
Yeah. but
We're
that's
gonna
easy enough.
talking about Barry. Tomorrow's gonna be a long day if you're an anti-Barry guy because the Oilers have Carolina in town. Obviously, Ethan Bear's coming back. It's gonna be a long day for the anti-Barry people. They're gonna be loud. They're gonna be annoying.
Yeah.
I'm going to get it. I'm going to understand it, but it's not going to change the trade.
The one name Merrick wrote about this one, Brendan Gallagher.
That'd be exciting.
There's a hometown guy that I think
Yeah.
could work here.
So
The money, however,
cost,
is
Jeff?
problematic. 6'5".
yeah, 6'5" for 5 more years.
Yeah.
But Merrick said Gallagher has mused openly about not being interested in sticking around for a rebuild. Heart and soul player, great underlying numbers, would be tough to part with, but teams dream about having this player in the mix. What are you giving up? 2 firsts?
And Cassian.
They have to take him.
Well, they have to take Cassian and Koskinen to make the money work this year.
But then who's playing in net?
No, I'm not throwing Koskinen, but Gallagher's not worth 2 firsts. But Gallagher
He'll probably get it though.
is 2 firsts plus Cassian. I think you're paying
Still
I
can't
think.
afford it.
But is Yamamoto?
Oh, I think you
next?
can. I think you can fucking figure it out after that. You're down to what? Sorry, what was he? 6'5"?
6'5".
So you still got to find another 3
2
million.
firsts and Barry?
Yep.
That'd be
right
nice.
now.
That'd be nice.
What if it's 2 firsts, Barry and Lavoie?
Can you imagine the
Oh, I
Oilers
hate-
trade
wow.
Tyson Barry in the first 2 months of his new contract? Oh my God. The fucking vocal minority that's already hating him in that deal. Well, maybe about 50.
You got to give the guy credit if he realized he made a mistake and fucking moved on from it, didn't he?
100%, but it would just, man, the narratives following that trade would be hilarious.
Some people just
2
like to be negative all the
firsts,
time.
2 firsts, Tyson Barry and Dylan Holloway for Gallagher and Sherrod.
Oh, then that's a different thing. I would hate to give up Holloway. though.
Yeah,
Giving up-
same.
I
But the
don't-
problem is
I
we
get
don't
it.
know what he is.
We know what Brendan Gallagher
You
is.
know
try
what
and
Brendan
you try and
Gallagher
get Gallagher without having to throw him in there. 2 firsts, Cassian for Gallagher. I think that's an overpayment straight up.
You think
But
that's an overpayment for Brendan Gallagher?
for the Oilers? I think so.
Yeah.
Nah.
But I think, but that's.
I don't think Montreal does
that's not taking into account the contract.
I don't think Montreal does it either.
I just don't think Montreal will be like, oh, thanks for a busted Cassian. Here's one of our best
I
friends.
don't. Yeah,
same
I don't
time,
think they want the
Like you said,
type of player. There.
Dylan Holloway, we don't really know what we have with him right now. He could be a stud.
Yeah, I'm
could
not
be,
moving.
like,
I don't think I'm
he's-
moving Holloway yet. I'm trying to get Gallagher
Then
out of
again,
there without that.
So you check down on Montreal's roster and you see how much Tyler Toffoli costs you. 2 more years at 4.25. Barry for Toffoli straight up.
Now,
See, Toffoli would be a guy that could
Right
add
now.
some scoring.
Yeah,
right now.
Also, there's a
Call
small,
I would do it right
there's a
now.
small group out there that's really wanting to rush Dylan Holloway back in the lineup, even though he's not
I don't think you rush him
No.
back, but I think you get ready to give him a look because you need scoring.
around April, maybe March. He gets a look,
I
right
think
after
you're-
the Olympic.
Yeah, right after the
Yeah,
Olympics.
Yeah.
but he's not going to get slotted in immediately. Like,
No. You got to go get
he
him.
needs game time.
See that wrist to make
Yeah.
sure.
Barry for Petrie. Who says no? I'm just throwing shit out there now. I don't even know.
Yeah. But
Dude,
if
but
Montreal
a
is,
Gallagher type player would be phenomenal.
he's exactly
in the top
what
six.
this team needs.
Oh,
He is so annoying.
So annoying.
Every time the Oilers play against the Canadians, which last year, obviously, there was a lot of it.
Yeah.
Gallagher is so fucking annoying.
And like he does it with the smirk on his face.
Yeah.
And he's the kind of guy too, like he could get high sticked in the eye. The thing could be out of his socket and he'll finish a check and then be
Yes.
like, oh shit, I should probably go off the ice.
That is the kind of player with skill the Oilers need.
I would like Toffoli too, but the 2 years left on the deal
That
scares
reminds me a little bit of Zach Hyman, Gallagher. Just a little bit.
Can you imagine
not
a
the same,
top six where
not
you're
the same
just
sandpaper, but yeah, I do.
a top six where you're either rolling out Hyman or Gallagher every second shift? Like that's fucking
There you go.
sick.
That's the kind of player they need.
All right.
Like,
So we're decided here, right?
so we've decided we're going to trade for Brendan Gallagher.
Who do we got to email for this?
I'll find, I think it's Ken at EdmontonOilers.com.
All right.
Probably is something
Yeah,
like that. You know what I mean? Probably.
Or no,
is.
Okay, Holland?
Ken at OEG.
It's like
oh,
Ken,
yeah,
dot,
it's definitely OEG.
Yeah.
Ken dot H at EdmontonOilers.com.
Or it's like the U Alberta ones where it's like the first three letters of his last name. So it's like Ken
okay.
HOL at Oilers.ca.
Or it's just Old Dutch at EdmontonOilers.com.
I say we just do the old school thing, go buy a billboard. Maybe park it over by
sure.
Kingsway.
We should rent a billboard and every week I get to pick a new trade proposal. That
I
goes
like
up
that.
there.
I'm in.
But getting back to it, Brendan Gallagher is the kind of player they don't have on the roster.
There's not very many in the league.
No.
No, there's just not.
They also lack a little bit of physicality, a little toughness. Like I think Chalmers mentioned on Real Life. But
Yeah, they've been on that for a while.
I think
Yeah.
some
For a
of
long
them
time.
can handle it, but none of them like to initiate it. And
One
that's
thing-
kind of what you want out of 44, who's not doing it.
That's one thing that does annoy me is that I don't think the Oilers have at times, the all for one mentality where if something happens to one person, everybody's in
Yeah.
the pile. I think back, Rick, to when we went to Winnipeg for the Heritage Classic.
What a
Jay
weekend.
Downton
Oh,
could not get in the cab with us because for some reason van cabs only allow 4 people.
yeah, they take the back seat out.
Doesn't make sense.
No,
Jay said, "You guys take the cab. I'll walk back to the hotel." What did we do?
no, that's not how we roll.
We got out of the fucking cab.
We
and
all got
walked-
out of the cab and we all walked together. We're all together or that's it.
I think the Oilers need a little bit more of that mentality. Some of them need to get locked out of a cab, it seems. That's just my thought. I don't know.
Get buzzed into the 7-Eleven with the worst pizza in the world.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man. Speaking of pizza, shout out to DoorDash. Ding dong. Lazy? Hungry? That's a perfect combination. Order DoorDash. And tying it back to the delicious debate, use the promo code OODLE2021 on your order of $30 or more, and you'll get yourself a little discount. That is like free noodles almost. DoorDash. Get yourself something to eat. It's Friday. You can't cook. Don't pretend like you can. If you're listening to this, I've got a pretty good idea that you're not allowed to cook. You'll light things on fire. That's what your smoke alarm is. That's what mine is. It's the bag milk is cooking alarm. Right? Good. We've covered the delicious debate. We've covered Fire Tippett. We've covered the losing streak. We've covered the depth scoring concerns. What else is going on? Well, Chris Russell, a guy who tough as nails. First of all, the silver shin pads that he
Perfect.
got,
Loved it.
the best.
Loved it.
When I saw that post go up, I was howling laughing because it's just so funny and it's so perfect.
And it's going to annoy so many people.
Oh, man. But what a record to hold for the guy. Most block shots in NHL history. Forget about it. I don't want that
That's a
record.
teammate, man.
Now, Chris Russell left the game last night in the second period, only played 7 minutes and change. Took a hit, he did a little spinner. Took a hit from behind, I guess. Well, not I guess. Took a hit from behind. It was basically the exact same hit that Connor got kicked out for, but that's just a different story.
Consistency, hey, refs?
And then, yeah, but also the non-call on Hyman in
Terrible.
That
Awful.
was fuck. He drilled him right in the numbers. Then go to the Calgary game and Lucic just murdered a
Yeah, he
Sharks
just
player.
straight up killed the guy.
Like, so there have been 4 just in Alberta, 4 real bad hits from behind in the last 3 games or whatever. And the only one that's been called at all, never mind like minor penalties or warning, the only one, McDavid got a major.
And Hyman last night, we end up with the power play.
Yeah, that was fuck. I
That
saw
was so
people.
weird.
People were tweeting me being like, "Tippett needs to give a shit about the officiating. It was terrible again last
Yeah,
night."
that's
I'm like, "Yeah,
both
man, it was
sides,
terrible
but yeah.
for everyone."
Yeah.
Like the play where Niemelainen gets shoved and then whacks the guy with his stick, and it's just everything was like, "What the fuck are we watching?"
I do like that toughness of that kid, though.
I do. I like him a lot.
Niemelainen adds a different flavor to the defense that the Oilers don't have. He is throwing his body around like it's the only thing that matters to him.
Yeah.
But
I like it.
He's got a skill for it. So it's not like he's like hunts for it. It just kind of like naturally happens. And he's been doing it his whole life, right? So he just finds these hits and he's really, really good at it.
I dream of the Oilers making a big move at the deadline, and in the playoffs, we're sitting here going, God, remember when Marcus Niemelainen had to play because our blue line was so banged up, and it's such a strength in like 3 months that we forget Niemelainen exists. No offense to him, he's playing fine, but I just really don't want that.
Why can't you just say, I wish he elevates himself to another level? And you're like, remember when he just came up here and now where he is at? Oh my God.
Well, it is interesting that, I mean, I get the depth chart and where he slots and blah, 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 but that Broberg got sent down ahead of him.
Well, Broberg's what, 20 and Niemelainen is what, 23, I think?
23, 24.
Yeah, Niemelainen's draft +5, I think, right now.
He's same age as Puljujarvi, I think.
Yeah.
Same draft year.
Yeah, so Niemelainen is more ready for his NHL, start than, say, Broberg.
I think when he gets sent back, I bet Jay Woodcroft is going to tell him to try and make quicker decisions and kind of work on that in his outlet passes.
I don't know if he does get sent back.
Broberg?
No, Niemelainen.
I think Niemelainen, like when Keith is back and then Cuckoo comes back, he's going.
I think I could honestly see them getting rid of Cuckoo or Russell, and keeping Niemelainen.
You like Niemelainen that much?
I do.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't been as enamored with him as other people, but he's been fine.
But you don't find any negatives in him. Like, sorry, no, there's definitely negatives. There's negatives, but you don't find any any plays where you're like, oh, that was terrible. Oh, that was terrible. Where we did that with Russell, we do that Cuckoo. There's just, he hasn't really had that yet. So he's kind of like finding his place. He's finding his game, and he's not costing you anything. And he does bring something you don't really have.
He doesn't play a whole lot, but I think that's probably fine that he's quiet in the minutes he does get.
And now, wouldn't it be nice to get him with a veteran defenseman who he can learn and whatever off of, instead of playing with Barry?
But then what are you doing? Playing him with CC?
No, that's more in just like a hypothetical situation. Or you can like move Barry for Barry, 2 firsts and Barry for Gallagher. Gallagher comes in, and then you go find a veteran right-handed defenseman who can play those 12 minutes.
We flip Yamamoto for Adam Larson.
Can you imagine if Seattle, like I saw Merrick had Giordano on his trade list, and I was like, can we talk to Seattle about just getting Adam Larson back in this bitch? Like, come on. This blue line, Larson, Clefbaum emerges from the smoke and plays for playoffs day 1, and our third pairing is Clefbaum Larson, and it's like the past year didn't even happen. Yep. And we're safe. We're in a safe space.
That would be the kind of insurance the Oilers could use, I should say, just like what you could get from our friends at Cornerstone Insurance. If you go to cornerstoneins.ca, find all the products you need: auto, residential, commercial, life insurance, everything for 90 years and 4 generations. Cornerstone Insurance has been a family and employee-owned business here in Edmonton. Go to the website, cornerstoneins.ca, left-hand side of the screen, Citizens of the Nation. There's a button. Click it, get a discount. Got it? Good. Since we're talking about the defense, obviously Ethan Bear's coming back with the Carolina Hurricanes tomorrow. We got to talk about his interview he did with Daniel Nugent-Bowman at The Athletic. The quote that is going around on socials. Coombsy wrote about it at Oilersnation.com about the playoffs and just what it was like for Ethan Bear. So I quote, "If you watch that series again, I had a really good series. I had one mistake on the game tying goal, and it was like I gave up the whole 4-game series. That's what I never understood. It was the one thing that people wanted to point their fingers at. The one thing that sucked is I didn't feel like I had much support when it happened. It was a weird thing to go through, and I just felt alone."
Welcome to Edmonton and Edmonton fans.
But but also, I mean, it was.
I didn't see anybody on the team pointing out Bear, but you saw all sorts of people go, "Oh, Bear, oh, Bear, oh, Bear," and saying, "Oh, he's terrible." Blah, 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 blah.
I blamed Archibald more. Personally, Archibald was my scapegoat. But
yes, he took a horrible penalty.
But I like with Bear, you feel for him because he had a good series and he made
a good season.
Yeah, and he made
really
the one mistake, and it's unfortunate that he feels like he was attacked like that, and that some people in the fan base, like with the racist stuff, like that's
garbage. Gonna happen.
It's garbage.
Fucking garbage.
But that's not the majority of Oilers fans, right? And I think as a fan base, when you see that shit, call it out, and hopefully it doesn't have to happen anymore down the line. So you feel for him that he went through that. But I don't think they traded him for Warren Fogle just because of that one bad play.
No, I think there's a lot that we'll never know about
behind the scenes,
and it was. I think it was just like a final straw type of a situation.
Which is a bummer, especially since we're talking about our defense being banged up and in rough shape. And he's having himself a solid year with the Hurricanes.
And
I'd undo it if I could. I'd undo the move if I could.
100%.
What was the timeline for that and the Larson thing?
Well, Larson was taking
because obviously the initial was keep Larson, move on from Bear, move on from Barry, find someone else, go Larson, Bush, and someone else, right?
And that plan quickly withered away.
How did that trade happen?
I remember it, and this is a very Yaremchuk way to put it. I was leaving on vacation the morning Larson signed, and that would have been 3 or 4 days.
So,
and then the Fogle for Bear trade.
Ethan Bear got traded July 28th.
Mm-hmm.
Ethan Bear's 28th, yeah.
So 3 or 4 days before that.
And then, this is the 20th. Okay. Yeah, look, it is what it is. Obviously, the management had a reason to get to move on from the player.
It's a bad trade, arguably.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Right now it is, yep. We're
But I
definitely
also
not winning
think
that one,
that-
but it's not.
I also think that if Warren Fogle had
not
any
over.
kind of fucking luck on his side and the Snakebite wasn't just overcoming him like a wave of terror, people probably wouldn't be as upset.
And I'll say this right now. I hope that Bear is a -8 tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I hope the Oilers win 12-1.
I mean,
Yes.
personally, I hope he gets a standing ovation when they do the little tribute videos.
They better, right?
Yeah,
Like,
hey, listen,
if they gave Matt fucking Benning a tribute video, Ethan Bear better get one.
I think he will. There's definitely a time in which he gets his applause, but once the puck drops, man, it's different. 99 got booed.
You hate the Hurricanes.
Beyond.
Yeah.
Which is annoying.
Understandably, but
This is funny because there's going to be a lot of people who like to be vocal on Twitter that are going to get to watch their favorite team play the Oilers tomorrow night.
Yeah.
A lot of people that talk a lot about the Oilers get to watch their favorite team play the Oilers tomorrow night, and I really, really hope that Connor and these guys come out and just lay it down.
I hope so too. Tomorrow is a huge test. The Hurricanes are a very good hockey team.
Yeah. Yeah, they're really good. They're complete. They're deep. Like,
It's annoying. You got calling you right now.
I don't know. Should I
Still
pick
ain't
it up?
won nothing.
Yeah.
Put on the thing.
I'm
See
not
if
going to put on.
Oh,
why
come
not?
on.
Tyler's taking a phone call. He refuses to connect it to the Bluetooth.
Hello?
He's answering.
Smiling still.
Hit podcast too. Like this is how a producer works.
Couple head nods. Uh-huh.
Are you being arrested by Revenue Canada? Are they sending? Do you have a
Yes.
warrant on your arrest?
oh wow.
Oh, I thought
nice.
he was,
Had that
I thought
happen
he was just
yesterday.
kicking it on.
I got a package somewhere.
Oh, nice.
Oh, braggart! Look at this guy's always shopping.
I got a package somewhere that's been seized.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's all the drugs. It's got to be it.
Gentlemen, it is time for Ask the Idiots for our friends at Buster's Pizza with locations in and around the city. There's one near you, whether you want a donair, delicious, pizza, delicious. Our friends at Buster's Pizza are here to serve. And they are also hooking you up with gift cards just for submitting questions to Ask the Idiots. So if you're new here, if you've never listened to the podcast before, the boys haven't seen these before. I have. I'll chime in last. So we're going to work through these. We're going to get their first thoughts on it. I'm going to start with Waz because you're filling in for Dan here.
Exciting.
How many games in a row would actually result in Dave Tippett being fired, if at all? So now they're at 4.
Ooh, I want to say around 7 or 10 games. Definitely. If it's 10 games, he's definitely cut. I mean, they're going to make a reactionary move. It might be firing Dave Tippett and bringing in Woodcroft or Babcock. Hopefully not, but I would say 10 games.
It's going to be torts. It'd be so funny.
Oh, God.
Rick, how many games would actually get Dave Tippett fired?
You would need double digit and that first trade first.
Tyler?
7 in a row
With or without the trade, though?
without the trade. Firing before trade.
I don't think he gets fired at all, regardless of how many games they lose.
20.
Unless the
30.
Oilers either if they lose 30 fucking games in a row, if they lose 30 games in a row, man, we got a series of problems that are just...
What are you eating on the beat cast when it gets to game 30?
Oh, man.
I'm just going to be going out into the parking lot and licking parking stalls. I just don't think he gets fired at all.
Welcome to the beat cast. Today I'm going to be sucking on my neighbor's doorknob.
Yeah. Yeah. Or I just wrap my mouth around a exhaust pipe and I've got the neighbor firing up the old whip.
Wow.
Jesus. That got dark.
Yep.
All right. I don't think he gets fired unless the Oilers miss the playoffs or first round exit. That's just me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Question number 2 for Buster's Pizza. This is Ask the Idiots. Tyler, reversing the order. you're up first. Will we ever see a change with the D-men on the power play? Removing Barry and giving Bouchard a nod seems like a good call.
It does seem like a good call, but I don't think we're going to see it. I think Bouchard's done enough at 5-on-5 to deserve at least a crack and a sniff in that position, but I just think Tippett really likes Barry in that spot, and the entire power play has been a little bit stale over the last week, so he's just going to let them sort it out with the usual cast of characters. Would love to see it. Don't think it'll happen.
Rick?
I think you do, but I think it might take moving Barry out somehow first. But I will say this is I do believe Bouchard kills penalties, and that's probably the one thing holding him back right now because you can't put Barry on the penalty kill.
Waz?
I'm going to agree with Tyler. Basically, Tyson Barry definitely. I mean, I would put Evan Bouchard instead of Tyson Barry on the power play right now, especially after last night. But at the same time, I think Dave Tippett just favors his veterans a little bit more than Evan Bouchard.
I honestly think it comes down to the penalty kill more than anything else.
Bouchard's just the better overall defenseman, and he should be playing in both situations.
And
Sorry, Tyson.
Tippett showed this last year by putting Russell down up in the press box last year for younger guys, that if you're getting outplayed by the younger player, I know everyone says Tippett and the veterans, blah, 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 but if you're getting outplayed, he will play the better player.
To me, that's already happening. I don't understand why it hasn't, but we'll see. This one, hope and a dream question. Rick, I'm starting with you. Think we could trade enough futures to get Tyler Zegras?
Well, first off, his name's Trevor.
Or sorry, I meant Trevor. It says Trevor here.
His brother?
I was looking at Tyler. It says Trevor right here.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. Would 3 first-round picks and Yamo get it done?
No.
Probably not. I mean, because if we got him all of a sudden, we're not going to have high-end draft picks anyway. So no, you'd have to use a player.
No,
and I'm just not trading their future face of the franchise.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
It's a non-starter.
Not letting him go at all.
Trevor Zegras is not going anywhere. I saw the goal too. The assist, I should say. I saw it too.
I thought it was a goal originally. I didn't know it was an assist. I didn't see the Milano part.
Hell of an assist.
Like,
loved it.
Gutsy play, but man, those guys are going to start eating that stuff right away. You've already seen that guys trying to do the Michigan, and defensemen are hunting them a little bit as they're coming around.
They're reading
goalies are getting their shoulders up a little bit higher to the crossbar. You do this game, and I see 2 guys going to be eating the ice real fast.
So answer that one. No.
You're paying attention up here. You're not looking. It takes such a hand-eye coordination that if someone came close to you, they're putting you on you've got no way to absorb a hit at that point.
I don't think we're going to see this as much as we see the Michigan.
God, no.
It was pretty unique for Zegras to have the time and the situation where Milano's alone in front. And all that. But I also think you mentioned it. Everyone was reading the Michigan play now and they're kind of anticipating it. I think that almost helped Zegras because when he scoops it up, everyone's going
him to go one way or the other.
They're darting on him, right? They're going, okay, he's trying the Michigan, get on him. And
leaves Milano in front of the net.
Bloop, bloop.
Hey, listen, if it wasn't for Milano knocking it out of the air, it's a useless pay.
Oh yeah. Milano gets a ton of credit.
You got to give him exactly.
Question number 4. Buster's Pizza. We're working through Ask the Idiots. Tyler, you're up first. The Oilers started at 9-1 and are 7-8 since then. Clearly, something was working then that is not working now. What do you think it was, and how do we get back there?
Oh man, what was working and how do we get back there? I think the way the third line played early in the season is a big part of it. And I think just getting a few more timely saves, not necessarily more saves in a weird way, but some timely saves and depth scoring was the big thing. And if they get back to that, they'll turn this thing around.
What was working early that's not working now?
It's still kind of working, but I would say the power play. I thought the power play is a little bit more effective early on, and it's kind of cooled down a bit.
When you've dropped down 18%, you're still first in the league. Yeah, that's definitely.
It was basically a coin flip through October, right? So I agree with Waz on that. Rick, you're up.
Honestly, I think it comes down to the power play right now. If we were just looking at the first little bit compared to right now.
The 5-on-5 scoring has been an issue like all season.
But last night the 5-on-5 scoring has been fine. Getting 5-on-5 scoring that's not McDavid and Draisaitl has been the issue because they were a top 5-on-5 scoring team in the league before this losing streak.
And even when we were 9-1 or whatever, wasn't everybody shitting on the third line? Like Derek Ryan was at the beginning of his.
I think in the first, we did at least a couple of episodes though where we were talking about how Derek Ryan's like a real nice fit and like he looked good and all that.
But then they were slowly getting outscored at that point, and then it just kept going and going and going.
I think both special teams have cooled off a little bit. The Oilers have allowed PK goals in a few in a row, or 3 of 4, or something like that. That's contributing a little bit. Power play obviously down. And then I've said it again. Snakebite is
Lock in
very
momentum.
fucking real right now. It is just, there's guys gripping the stick. There's guys not scoring. Like Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, I'm going to again go back to my boy. 2 goals on December 10th. That's not normal. You know what I mean? Like if he was where he normally would be at this point, 6, 7, 8 goals by now, that helps. That goes a long way. We need some people to score. Last question. Ask the idiots for busterspizza.ca. Rick, I'll start with you on this one.
Okay.
With changing of the guard in Vancouver and Brock Besser apparently being on the trading block for some folks, what would it take to get him away from Vancouver? Is he a good fit for the Oilers?
That's kind of a tough one. Obviously, that's not going to be a cheap trade. You're looking at probably
Not within the division now.
2 or 3 draft picks and maybe another prospect or something like that. I think he's probably got the talent where you could find his way on that top 6. So I guess in a way he'd be a fit here, but I think he's too expensive.
Tyler?
Yeah, I agree. 5.875 right now. So, if Vancouver's selling at the deadline, they're probably
Take Zach back.
Yeah, take Zach. Oh shit, actually that might not work. But they could maybe keep half of Besser and you make a deal work. The problem for me is he's an RFA with ARB rights. So what
He's
are
going to cost you?
What are you paying this guy? 24 years old? Like he's going to cost you $7 million probably, right? 6, $7 million in that range.
Yep.
6.5 on a 6-year deal. I'm talking. So it's not a realistic target.
I would love to have a guy like Brock Besser. The dude murders the puck.
Yeah.
I would love more guys that shoot like him on the Oilers, but I'm with everybody else. I just don't see it.
Yes, has got a bomb. He just has to use
And
it more.
we also have to re-sign Jesse Puljujärvi in the offseason, right? We got to consider
Jesse
that.
needs a contract. Yamo needs one, depending on whether he's still here or not. Again, I love dudes that can bomb the puck, and I agree with Rick. Like I love when Jesse's teeing off on slap shots lately.
Did you see how far down his right hand was yesterday when that shot from the dot?
Yeah.
And if it didn't go off the glance off the blocker, I think that was going to sneak in the post.
Probably.
And there's just a couple. He's at him. They just kind of roll off his stick. Jesse's about to let it go. Probably 3 or 4 in the last couple games.
More guys that shoot the pill like that, please.
He can shoot it.
He can shoot it. I'd like more than one.
That's
There's more than one, but you know what I mean. There you go. Ask the idiots for busterspizza.ca. We are going to pick a winner here. Dan is not here, so Rick is my happy helper today.
Am I
Reach on
picking a
in there.
name? Ooh.
Yep. Who we got?
This is very exciting.
Very, very exciting.
Very exciting.
Winning a GC from Buster's Pizza. I will reach out to you after the podcast.
Shroom sauce.
Shroom sauce.
There you go.
Isn't he not from here?
I don't know. I'll ask.
Okay.
Well, you did say there's a Buster's Pizza around it wherever you are, didn't you?
Absolutely.
So I'm
There's a
sure.
Buster Pizza near you. Shroom Sauce asked about what was working then and is not working now. So there is a winner for our friends at Buster's Pizza.
He lives in Pennsylvania.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to take another one. Shroom Sauce, I apologize to you.
Sorry, buddy. When you come up to Edmonton, though, because I know you were talking about it, we'll
get you a Buster's Pizza.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. Take 2.
Electronic Jordan.
Electronic Jordan wins the Buster's Pizza gift card.
And you owe Shroom Sauce a hug.
Absolutely. Oh, Shroom Sauce, a hug, maybe a high five. Electronic Jordan asked about Trevor Zegras, not Tyler Zegras. That is a cousin. He does not play for the Anaheim Ducks.
Mm-hmm.
There's people yelling outside again.
Yeah.
I don't even think they're yelling. I think they're just talking maybe a little bit loud. And I think these windows are made out of maybe paper or something.
They're whooping and hollering.
Whoop.
Everybody's excited on Friday, except Oilers fans.
Whipped cream.
It's dark around here. But you know what? Listen,
Dude, we're so much better than we've been in
it's
before.
been way worse than this. I promise you.
100%. Oh, yeah.
11
I
year ago
promise
today
you.
was the Linus Omart goal.
This is true.
What a
That-
goal.
11
What a
years
goal.
ago today.
That would have been the bright spot of a whole season.
It kind of was.
Man.
Take that, Steve Stamkos.
Who's that goalie again?
Brian Bishop?
It was either Ben Bishop or
Ben
it
Bishop.
was
No, I don't think so. It wasn't Ben Bishop.
Dan.
Kluche.
No, it wasn't Kluche. What was his name? I would always get him and Smith confused.
Is it the guy who I have a signed jersey from?
No, that's Chris Mason. What's his fucking Dan Ellis?
Oh, there you
There you go.
He was mad.
Man, Kluche I remember Kluche let one in from like far blue line or something like that.
I just remember when, he scored that goal and everyone was like, "Oh, we got something special here, no, Mark." It's just everyone thought it was.
They got so bummed out.
Yeah.
Dude, the spinorama is outside the blue line.
And the little like half clap
Yeah.
tap on the ice. That's so funny.
My
What'd you
buddy-
say? 11 years ago?
Yes.
Yes.
Terrible, eh?
2010.
Fuck, man. Time flies. Jesus. Oh,
Eighth
well.
grade was a good time.
How dare you?
Yeah, 8th grade. Definitely,
Get out of here, Wes.
Definitely 8th grade.
Yes. 11 years ago, 8th grade. I was your age now, was 11 years ago.
I was older.
Yes. We're the old boys, Rick.
It was one of my, I remember where I was when that goal scored.
I'll take an easy guess. I was probably at the bar.
11 years ago. Fuck. He was the E in hope for those of you who've been around him.
Yeah.
Woo. Or the O in hope.
O.
Man, I cannot spell. That was Eberle. Man, I'm having a rough one.
Oh, Pi Harvey.
Tyler,
All that custard you ate last
I
night.
ate so much custard. Again, donate to the Edmonton Food Bank. And then you too can pick what I eat on the beat.
Custard's a little tasty, you know.
That was from my boy Dangerous Weight or Dangerous Weight, depending on where you're at. And he said, buddy, you eat a lot of horrible shit. This probably won't be good, but it won't be the worst thing you eat. So thank you to Dangerous Weight. Again, he made a donation to the Edmonton Food Bank. So thank you. Tyler, get your buttons ready. It's time for the Deuce Vodka hot
He's
cold
got a vomit over there or something.
What's going on with you?
I just burped.
He's having back issues.
Yeah, my back's really bad.
That was when you avoid the grind.
Mhm.
Wearing the shirt.
I want that hoodie.
Can't have it.
Neither one of you guys can claim to avoid the grind, though.
What do you mean?
Like, how many hours in a day are you here putting shit out?
Wow.
And you too.
Not enough, clearly.
Yeah, not enough. Tyler hates working.
I hate work.
All right. DeuceVodka.com. There you go. I say it every week. Brad Kissel's handsome face right at the front. Right beside that, find in store. That's what you need to click on. That will tell you where you can buy a bottle of Deuce Vodka for your weekend. Caesar Sunday. They're delicious. That's how I start my Sundays. Little Deuce Vodka Caesar. Delightful. As we do every week, we start with our veggies with our cold performers of the week. Waz, I know you've done this before, but in case you need a reminder, we look back at the last 7 days of our lives. Maybe something that didn't go so well. I'm putting you on the spot, sir. You're up first. Your Deuce Vodka cold performer of the week.
I'm gonna go with the Minnesota Wild game that I got free. I got free tickets to that game from our friend Josh Park, but the game was just not fun. It was not a fun time. And my dad became very whiny. He was complaining about everything. He's like, he used old Polish. And he's like, back in the 80s, always referring back to the 80s and 90s, how things used to be better. And,
Well, the 80s were definitely better than 90s.
Yeah, the 90s were a little lean.
You got to 90. You got to 91, and it was you're going off the edge of a cliff.
So
I'm upset.
His
There we
dad
go.
was upset.
no, yeah.
Rick, you're next up. Your Deuce Vodka cold performer of the week.
This is. I know people that really don't get behind this, but it's really good for work, and it's kind of fun to watch. But I absolutely hate these two people. It's that the Jake Paul fight, or whichever Paul. I don't know which is which.
Stephen Paul.
Yeah, the fact that Tommy Fury is backed out of this thing, like I absolutely hate these stupid Paul brothers. All I want is someone like a real fighter to go in there and break their face and like show them like this is not just a fun and fucking games. So I really had hope that Tommy Fury was going to beat the piss out of him, and I don't exactly know why he had to drop out, but he dropped out, and then obviously that would have been huge for where we get. It's stupid how busy we go for these things. So that hits me in a little bit in the work way, and then I just want to see him get his ass whooped. So all three of them. I hate the Jakes, but Tommy for stepping down.
Are you thrilled?
No.
I'm not.
I'm looking at this Tommy Fury thing, and Tyson Fury stepped in and said he's making fun of the Paul brothers. I would like one of them to challenge him to a fight.
That'd be great.
Dude, no, fuck it. I want them to get in the ring with Mike Tyson.
I'd watch that.
And I don't want any I know when they fought Mayweather and they fought the Woodley, that there's you can't knock him out and blah, blah, blah. If you watch Mike Tyson throw punches right now, it is absolutely devastating.
He would
knock one rib
100%.
out for me, and then he'd pop it out the other side. Like it would just cleanly go out like he's playing Jenga.
He would slip a jab or something and just knock their head clean
Dude, if
off
he
their
hits you in
shoulders.
the fucking chin, he may kill you.
I was watching, that reminds me, that was probably like a month ago. I was watching Mike Tyson slip highlights on YouTube.
So good.
That guy was devastating.
Dude, terrifying.
He is absolutely terrifying. There was a fight from the late 80s or something like that. It was in Vegas. So it was a big deal. And tickets, I was reading about it. Tickets were going for hundreds and hundreds and thousands of dollars. He ended the fight in the first 20 seconds.
He did that a bunch of times. Dude, he fought he fought 8 times in 1987 or something like that. Dude's barely fight twice in a year right now. And he fought 7 or 8 times in 1 year. It's absolutely ridiculous what he did. And he would absolutely kill you.
I feel like a lot of fighters nowadays go the whole distance just for the money, right?
Why?
Like,
why you get
like,
you get your distance, then divide it over 36 minutes or whatever. Or he went in there and took that same person, did it over 20 seconds.
That's efficient.
That's efficient. Then you got to go and party afterwards.
Yeah, got on with his life. Tyler, you're next up. Deuce Vodka Cold Performer of the Week.
Mm-hmm. My cold performer of the week is going to go to Alan Walsh for sending out his tweet about William Lagesson.
Didn't talk about that.
Complaining about the way he was healthy scratched. My response to that is, you know what, Alan Walsh, I do appreciate you sticking up for your client. I get why you're sending it. And you're a great follow on Twitter. I love when you throw stuff out there. It's great. But if you think that's going to help your client get in the lineup more, I think you might be a little mistaken. And I just felt like it was a weird thing to kind of speak up about publicly. So Alan Walsh for the odd comments thrown out on Twitter in regards to William Lagesson and Dave Tippett. Cold Performer of the Week.
What the hell is going on?
It's just like everybody knows the Marc-Andre Fleury one, but with the sword through the back.
It's so good.
But William Lagesson is not Marc-Andre Fleury.
And the situation,
the situation is so weird.
And like Darnell Nurse was coming back. So like William Lagesson probably should have been like, okay, I might be coming out of the lineup. And then like everything.
I think he knew.
The big guy is smoking hot.
That's his first one.
That was the first one today.
It's funny. He watched you and his no reaction. You hit the button and then he's like, fuck, you just hit the button.
Caught me really off guard. I'm on a tape delay right now.
Yeah, I agree with you. That William Lagesson thing was weird. Just to wrap it up, my Deuce Vodka Cold Performer of the Week. The people that yelled at me for being happy at Louis DeBrusque last night. The game against the Bruins, Jake DeBrusque scored his first goal against the Oilers. That didn't make me happy. I was upset about it. But to watch Louis call that goal and be really happy and proud for his son, I thought it was a cool moment.
It was.
Not only that, he didn't gush. He didn't go overboard with it. He was just happy. He was a happy dad for his kid. And when I said I was happy for Louis, I got torched. And that's my cold performer of the week.
You're as cold as ice.
Ooh, I like that.
I love that button. That's my new favorite. Stop it.
All right, flipping the ledger. Our Deuce Vodka hot
stick.
and hot performers of the week. I'm going to go first because I'm selfish.
Mm-hmm.
Last night, Oilers lost. B-cast done. What did I do, Tyler? I checked out Twitter and I saw everybody was watching the Kanye Drake concert on Amazon
I didn't
Prime.
even know this thing existed.
I didn't know either. So I'm glad it came up in the B-cast and I'm glad it came up on Twitter because that cheered me right up after the Oilers lost. That was a hell of a show. Kanye West's catalog or his set list that he played last night was just hit after hit after hit after hit. Bonus cold performer, Drake, you fucking sucked, man. If you're seeing Kanye do all those jams and you come up and do that, like, you're a lesbian, I am too, girl, whatever that song is from Certified Lover Boy. No good. But Kanye nailed it. Concert overall was great. Hot performer of the week.
This is why I'm hot. I'm hot because I'm fly. You ain't because you not.
I wish Mims was there.
Drake doesn't have the amount of fucking hits that Kanye
He didn't
has.
play any of
Not
his
even-
hits, though.
Not
He
even
does,
close, I don't
think.
think. Not even close, I don't think.
Over the last
No, I just think the hits have come from a different era.
Yeah.
But like
Drake's dominated the radio over the last decade.
he has 100%. But like his
There you
only
go.
huge hit he played last night was God's Plan, and he didn't even play half of it.
Yeah, the song choices were weird.
It was God's Plan and No Friends in Industry. That's it.
It was
Why
just,
are you even playing that on a stage like this?
I don't know.
and then I just don't know how you watch Kanye do everything everybody wants to hear and be like,
Yeah.
all right, I'm going to do these ones that are like, okay, they were kind of cool off Certified Lover Boy and God's
hits.
Plan. But
Yeah, he needed to come up with the more hits.
Put some respect.
I was just hoping that like Eminem and Lil Wayne would show up out of nowhere to do Forever. That'd be.
yeah, I was hoping for Eminem. They didn't even play Eminem's verse in Forever.
Where was this
Did
concert?
they play it?
No. Yeah, they played Forever. That was the closing number. So Drake came back out and they did Forever, but they did not play Eminem's verse. Probably because he roasts both of them with his
Yeah.
verse on that one. But
Where was this concert?
it was on
LA.
Amazon Prime at the Hollywood Bowl, I think.
Were people there?
No, it was in the
Wasn't-
the Memorial Coliseum or
It was in the
something.
Coliseum where the Rams used to play.
Oh, was that where it was? I couldn't figure it out from
Were
watching.
there people there? Was it?
Yeah,
empty?
it was a
Yeah.
packed place.
I think Kate's kids were there. They were
Yeah,
posting
Chloe
about it.
Cates was there. I saw it on Instagram. Yeah.
Nice.
Hell of a concert. There's my hot performer of the week.
Put some respect on my name.
Fine,
you.
that's your button. I already gave you a button.
Fuck off.
Worse.
God damn it.
Tyler, you're next up. Deuce Vodka hot performer of the week.
We got Leon Draisaitl. Fuck off. I'm fading it down. Leon Draisaitl scored the second goal of the game. It was a beauty, and we got a big Draisaitl celebration out of it as well. And
He was jacked up.
we haven't been getting those. He got a little bored with scoring goals. Matthews was starting to get in the conversation for the Rocket Richard Trophy as well. Draisaitl, 2 goals. He's back in front. He always was in front, but he's back in a commanding lead for the Rocket Richard. And keep the Sellies up, big man. They fire me up.
It's getting hot in here.
I already pushed that button.
Fuck.
What's your next up, Deuce Vodka Hot Performer of the Week?
I'm gonna give it to EA Sports for finally bringing in the World Juniors into the NHL games. Only took them like 20 years, but they finally did it.
I can't believe it!
Game's kind of trash, though.
Oh yeah, 100%. The whole franchise.
Is it really?
Yeah.
It glitches and lags and freezes.
Do you have
so
that too,
much.
Waz?
Not really. I mean, I have the Series X, so I don't know if that makes a difference.
Is it a part of NHL or is it
Yeah,
its
it's
own
like
game?
a new update.
Yeah, EA
It's kind of
Sports
cool.
NHL.
Blew a lead in the third period last night in Ultimate Team. I was pissed.
Classic was.
Yeah.
Classic
Yeah.
Oilers fan there.
Yeah.
Got to lock it down in the third period. Come on.
Yep. Play the trap. Rick, your next up, Deuce Vodka Hot Performer of the Week.
This is weird. The guy I'm going to give it to, but I'm going to give it to Zach Cassian. And it's for something, again, I think it's the Minnesota game.
Oh,
you know how they do they line up for the anthem or
Yep.
whatever?
Yep.
And then the kid, the flag bearer, I don't know if it's for COVID reasons, but he's like on the opposite side of the ice right now, right? It was hilarious. A couple years ago, he stood there and he was next to Yamamoto and they're like this exact same size.
It was like
Every-
13 and huge.
And everybody's like peeing themselves during the anthem. Anyways, the Tuesday or whatever game it was against Minnesota, I believe, he called the kid over and I think that probably made the kid's
Oh, that made his
year,
Yeah,
whatever.
absolutely.
I thought that was pretty cool. So we'll give it to Zach.
Pour it on! Pour it on!
Ooh, 2 pour-it-ons.
Yeah, 2 pour-it-ons. Jack's great, by the way.
Yeah.
Love Jack. Jack for playoffs. We're going to end off with that. All right. I want to shout out our friends
Slowly.
Oh, yeah. So we got to just vamp here for a minute. So I was going to shout out the sponsors.
You think
But-
he put this on the board by now?
Yeah, you would think so. But Tyler's trying to connect his phone to the Bluetooth. There we go.
Oh, that was quick.
There we go. We got it first try today. I want to go ahead and thank our friends at Oodle Noodle, DoorDash, Cornerstone Insurance, Deuce Vodka, and Buster's Pizza for making it all happening. But most importantly, for you, the listener, for welcoming us into your ear holes every Friday. You've got homework, though. 1, leave a review. 2, tell your friends, coworkers, friends, family, your friends' friends, your family's friends, anybody you see. Just yell at people on the street about Oilers Nation Radio. We're here every Friday from Tyler, Rick, Waz, and myself. That's episode 170. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Thanks for listening to Oilers Nation Radio, delivered by DoorDash. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram.